Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video. Now, I have completely fallen off the wagon with making videos, with writing, and with a lot of other things. But I'm back today with an update to the dual role project. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, there will be links down below to the Google Docs or the Drive folder where we have basically all the information on the story. There will be a link down below to Marcus's channel where he's talked about his update for this month, as well as a link to Saturday in case you want to come to the live stream and join us there in talking more about this project. But I'm filming this update now because it's another month that has gone by somehow, and it's almost time for us to have another chit chat in a live stream about this project. If you missed last month's live stream, I was feeling a little overwhelmed with this project as well as just things in general, and we decided that we were going to take a break from this project for a month. There was no pressure to do anything between that live stream and the live stream now on Saturday in a few days. And that was very, very nice. It was very nice to not have to stress out about this on top of other things. And I've talked about before about how I'm very cyclical with my creativity. I do a lot of things and then I don't do anything for a long period of time, and then I do a lot of things in a short period of time, and then I don't for a period of time again. And it was very nice to get that break from the story, and truth be told, I have not worked on it at all, which I didn't have to, but I have finally started feeling excited about writing again. Not just / not necessarily about this project, but I've started feeling excited about writing again, and that's a very, very good sign. Now, even though I haven't been working on this story, I have still thought a little bit about it, and Marcus and I have talked a little bit about it, but most of that was yesterday. I'm filming this on the 19th of September, so not a lot, but I've thought a little bit about it, and I still don't really know what my problem with it is. I'm not a big fan, but I'm trying to tell myself that the biggest issue I'm seeing with it is the writing I had done and not the story itself. And the writing can be fixed. Technically so can the story, but for right now, let's say the story is fine and the writing is what needs work. Now, where we are at with the story is still that I have written and reread my first half, and Marcus has written and reread his first half, and he has started reworking his first half again. I have not. I have just read it and I have typed up my notes, and that's it. And the notes I made when I reread it was mostly just like, this is what happens in chapter 1, this happens in chapter 2, and not so much, oh, I could change this way, or I could change this that way. And I had a talk with Marcus, I think that was during that live stream a month ago, I'm not quite sure, where he pointed out that maybe the reason I'm feeling the way I'm feeling is because I never, or at least very, very rarely, make it to this stage. I write a lot of first drafts or zero drafts, depending on what you want to call them. Half the time I jump into another project without even ever rereading what I've written. Half the time I reread it, and that's it. And I rarely make it past that point. And I'm now in a position where this project is not finished because I've only written the first half, but I've written 80,000 words of it, so it's a big project. It's as big as my previous first or zero drafts usually are, and it's a little bit that I've written 80,000 words of a story that I'm not done with because it's only the first half, approximately half. Secondly, I don't really find Lid's story as interesting as I find Niam's storyline, and that's sad. And I don't know if hers is not as good or if it's more of a the grass is green on the other side, I think what Marcus is doing is more interesting, or that I just want to read his because I haven't read his words. I've read and written mine and they were crap. But also, and as much as I enjoy this part, we have shared this project with you guys. And I'm very happy that we've done that, and that has been a big motivator for me as well, that you guys, or some of you guys, have been here from the start, which is now, we started in February I think, and now it's end of September, so we've been doing this for 7 months. And you've been here and you've been cheering us on and you've been coming up with great ideas, and you know, we've just had this interaction with you guys about it in close to real time, which has been very, very nice. But there is this part of me that I think is linked to perfectionism after talking to Teresa about this. I wouldn't say straight up perfectionism, but when she talked to me about it, it made a lot of sense, which is that I don't like not being good at things the first time I do it, which is why I've given up on a lot of hobbies in the past. Now, I'm in no way about to give up on writing. That is not what I'm saying, and I'm not about to give up on this story. And even though none of you are going to see this project, at least for a while, there is still that sort of I am letting people down with not doing what I should be doing. Which again, it's been really good that we've had this month-long break, but there is still this sort of like, no, but people are counting on me. And usually if I pick up a hobby or pick up a project and then I am the only one invested and I give up on it, it sucks, but it just affects me. Me now feeling not super motivated and driven for this project, better now than a month ago, but still, I feel like I'm failing on a grander scheme. I feel like I'm letting Marcus down. I feel like I'm letting you guys down. And this is entirely my own issues, and I know maybe it sounds weird, but that's just how my brain chooses to work. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but basically I need to overcome that hurdle of thinking of the future in a lot of instances in my life, but thinking of the then, thinking of people reading this and having opinions and you know, likes and dislikes about it, and reeling it back from that, and then to, you know, Marcus eventually reading it and him having opinions and thoughts and so on, and then reeling it back from that and just being like, I just need to do the next step. And the next step in this case is rewriting the first half. But in order to do so, I want us to rework the first half, because maybe I don't need to rework it so much as just redefine it, refine it even. Because as I was rereading it, there were parts of it that I was just like, this is not interesting. And I don't know if that's because I had written it. I was the one who'd written it and it was not something I had had no contact with and therefore it was new and exciting, or if it actually is boring. So I will with this sort of segue into the next part of this video, which is what will we do on Saturday. So on Saturday we're gonna have our next check-in live stream, and I'm gonna have it linked down below for you so you can click on the link already and get the notification thing turned on, reminders turned on. But on Saturday we have a few things that we would like to talk about. I would really like to talk about Lid's side of the story and both find out and discuss, is her side interesting? Could things change to make her stakes higher and make her story more interesting? And when I think about it, I'm like, no, but she loses her best friend, she cuts all ties to home, she loses all her supplies, she's in foreign lands, she doesn't know the customs. Like, there is a lot of things not going well for her, and looking at that like objectively, that all sounds good. That sounds like it could make a good story, but I don't know if I've made it justice or if I'm just being too hard on myself, and if this would be better just with a few rewrites. We would also like to talk about revision, because like I mentioned earlier in my rambles, I rarely get to this point. I pants a first draft usually, and then that's about it, and then I never revise. And so I'm a little lost for where to start and what to do. Do I do plot issues first? Do I fix dialogue first? Do I look at the tone? Do I think of the theme? And so on. And obviously Marcus is revising his half as well. And maybe we have different things we need to work on. Maybe his writing flows better, but his descriptions are lacking. And for me, I need to refine Lid's motives and all this. You know, it could be different things. But still, talking about revision, talking about where to start, what to do, things to ignore in the first couple passes and deal with later, and so on. And the plan that Marcus and I have for now and for moving forward is that our next step for the project is to each rewrite our own halves. And we've given ourselves the deadline, which we haven't told you about yet, so ew, announcement. We have given ourselves the deadline of December 31st. That gives us 3 months. It gives us October, November, December, and a little bit extra of September here in the beginning, but 3 months to write the second draft of the first half of the story, where we are at different word counts. I think Mark's is somewhere in the 40,000 word range, and my first draft was 80,000 words. And those word counts probably maybe won't stay the same into a second draft, and we are also moving the point in time where Lid and Nia meet Yes, Niam. I thought I mixed up Niam and Teb again. We're moving the point where they meet back slightly. So I've sort of overwritten. I've written past that point and now all of that changes. So that's already gone. But we are setting the deadline for December 31st. It's 3 months. It took us 3 months to write what we have now. A second draft in theory should maybe go faster. I don't know. I never write them. But at least now we have the sort of the bones of the story, and now we're just adding meat to those bones, I guess. But it also opens up for us doing other things in the coming 3 months. Now I would like to get back into the story and get really invested and do a good job at a second draft and so on. But we are also coming up on Nanowrimo. And I haven't decided yet if I want to work on this for Nanowrimo or on something else. I do have a couple ideas floating around up in my head that I would like to work on for Nano or for something else. I have not decided. But since my creativity, or since my writing creativity at least, ebbs and flows, I would like the time to be able to work on the dual wheel project, other writing, and not writing at all. For the past month or so, I've also been really invested in crochet, and that's basically all I've been doing with my free time. So I'd like to still have time left over to do that as well. But I think those are the two things we've said we're going to talk about on Saturday: revision and also Lid's side of the story. I might be forgetting something. I will have Mark's video linked down below. He tends to be more consistent than I am in these updates. So you can go watch that as well if you want more information, and also how he's been doing and what he's thinking currently. But on Saturday, we're going to talk about revision and Lid's side of the story, and probably other things, because that tends to happen as well. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with another video soon, so I'll see you then. Bye! Now, if you missed last month's live stream, that took 3 tries. That took 3 tries to say.